Panda Mti, Penda Kenya.
That's it.
Panda Mti,
Penda Kenya. Change the story. Thanks to people like John Gashora, the Group MD of NIC Bank.
Your bank.
My bank.
It's called Bank in the Hill.
That's it.
The Asset Finance Bank.
That's, you call it the Bank on the Hill?
Yes, the Asset Finance Bank. How's the bank, by the way?
Fantastic, strong, beautiful.
Yeah.
If you're not a customer, Dalang, why didn't you that?
Yes, I'm a customer.
You are, very
Yes.
good.
No, he's not. He's with the other bank. I'll tell you later.
Just the other day, there's the new branch, the market branch.
Yes.
That was open the other day. Looking really nice.
Fantastic.
I like Village Market.
Village Market.
Yeah, Jackie and the rest of the gang
Yes.
there. Wonderful people. Wonderful people.
Wow.
I hope she's listening to us. She
I
drives
hope
all
she
the way
is. I
from
hope she
Carrot
gets
on the bypass. Jackie, I'm coming for a renewal of the loan.
You just asked for a loan.
I can imagine the loan of the loan. And Muhammad Elmi, of course.
Loan to plant trees.
Yes, the loan to, exactly, to plant trees. The
Wow.
CAS for Environment and Forestry. So, gentlemen, this initiative, and we're trying to change the narrative. That's why the hashtag change the story. If people are listening out there, first of all, John, can they contribute other than planting trees, which is very important? Can they contribute in other ways?
Absolutely. So the first message is plant trees. Plant trees, plant trees, plant trees. However, we know there are people who don't have the time, don't have the space, and don't have access to seedlings, or who worry a lot about sustainability and want it to be done for them. So we have set up a pay bill number, 859-855. 859-855 pay bill number. And you make a contribution to that number, and that money will be used to plant a tree.
If they ask you for your account, would you put your name?
The account number is Change the Story.
Sorry,
Good. Change the Story.
Okay, so M-Pesa pay bill number 859-855. Account number, Change the Story. And they can contribute whatever it is.
Whatever it is, whatever amount they want to contribute, we will ensure every shilling that comes into that account goes towards planting trees.
So I'll say, Kenyans, go out there, plant trees, organize yourselves. And if you want to contribute, there are many groups like the one NIC has just given the pay bill, and contribute to it. The groups you trust, that's where you do it. But what we are calling you to is plant a tree. If you can't, support a group that is doing it.
Wow. 3 years ago, I planted some eucalyptus right by a river where I am. And the other day, we were speaking to folks from where?
WWF.
WWF. They said eucalyptus is the worst tree to plant by a river because it sucks all the water, all the nutrients, everything.
Yes.
And she said she preferred bamboo. Right? That's what she said.
Yes.
This is, I mean, people out there should know what to plant and where. Isn't that the message, John? Isn't that, you just can't plant anywhere, Mohammed?
The ministry is just giving an advisory, and hopefully we should be in all the newsroom, and also I think they are preparing the last bit of it to show you a map of what you can plant where in Kenya and which species to plant where. And I agree, bamboo has been said to the ministry as one of the best to do in the wetlands, and that is useful in a lot of ways. But I don't have the details of which one.
Eucalyptus is
I've had the one of it sucks a lot of water, but I think it's better to get the. Maybe we'll get you one of the scientists to come and actually talk to you. Maybe, Jeff, the best thing is we bring one of the experts to come and sit here and say and tell Kenyans about the variety and what you can plant where.
As long as they don't tell us the biological names, okay?
No, of course.
We don't want to deciduous botulinus.
Marobaine. Marobaine discentus. Yes. That is the medicinal one. You remember the one I was telling you?
But the other easiest is there is a forest officer in every county. Again, people can check. But I think if they went to the website of KFS or KEFRI, which is the research institution, you can't believe the amount of knowledge which is there. So probably they will get the information they need from their website.
Yeah. John, schools, kids, the next generation, what do we tell them? How do we get that message ingrained?
So one of our partners in this movement, or initial partners I should say, because we're adding more and more partners,
coming on board,
is the Junior Achievement Movement. Junior Achievement, which I believe has about 30,000 schools or more. So through that, we are reaching school kids and ensuring that at least those schools participate in this tree planting. However, that said, the minister has been very gracious to say he's willing to help us work with the likes of Coopet, work with the head teachers association.
They have come to the office and said every school in Kenya we want it to be green. And not only green in planting trees. I think that it's good to start telling Kenyans also to move away from inefficient, uses of wood. So they're saying they want to put fuel efficient, mechanism to cook in the schools so that they don't use that much wood. Others are saying, look, we'll plant our wood so that we don't have to cut from the forest. We'll plant our own firewood. So that's what we are looking for. That actually, if all schools did, two things will happen. The children already will get the mentality. And they're saying they want to form environmental clubs in all the schools in the country. So I think then the next generation will be more aware of what to do, what kind of action.
Absolutely.
So the behavior of every Kenyan is very important. And basic things like putting off the lights if you're not using the office. You don't go home and leave all the lights on. It's wasting energy. I think there's a whole variety of things that will come, but at the moment what we're saying is let's first plant the trees. Let's put the oxygen out there. Panda miti.
Panda Kenya.
I think on top of that, I should add that one of the things that the minister has been very good at is introducing us to Kenya Forest Services as well as the Kenya Water Towers. And together with them, one of the issues we want to address is lack of seedlings. And our view is if we brought kids on board to help us build these nurseries, which is what we want to do, then we'd have the seedlings required to continue with this movement.
Wow. Again, just to tell Kenyans, there's a whole institution within KEFRI that produces seeds. And until I went to the ministry, I didn't know, the process of producing certified trees from our indigenous. They go up the trees, they get them down, and they have a whole bank of it. But again, yes, you could actually also decide, I will support that organization to produce seeds across the country.
Absolutely. Babu Tim Namorimi says, keep Kenya breathing during this rainy season. And then Gaza Boy, the bad boy, says, listening from Kericho, God bless you. NIC Bank boss, you are doing a nice thing. Absolutely, absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, how critical is it that we bring this forest cover back to 10%? How critical? Mohammed?
It's a requirement for us. It's very critical, of course, for our survival as a country. I mean, oxygen is one of the thing we need for us to survive. But we have commanded to ourselves by passing our constitution that by 2030 we should have been back to it. But we're saying the presidency has given directive. Let's achieve it. We can achieve it before that. So it's very critical for our survival.
I know Kenyans, we are competitive, so it's always good to see what our neighbors are doing. So if you look at Uganda, they are 20% forest cover. If you look at Tanzania, they are 39% forest cover. Whoa. So we're talking 7% in Kenya today. We're way below where we should be.
Yeah.
So with a competitive spirit, let's at least aim for Uganda, if nothing else.
Absolutely. 39% Tanzania. Wow, what wanacheza, huh? He's Francis Moya. Listen to this, Jalas, you're going to love it. South African eucalyptus is a disaster, but Thika palm, Warbogia ugandensis.
Ugandensis.
Yeah, he says it's fantastic for urban setups. See, I told you, these scientific names.
Wow. Can I say something else
Please.
I wanted to say, because this is also close to my heart?
Yes.
One of the things that I guess the president has been talking about is big four, and one of them is food security.
Yeah.
And one of my thoughts has been that as we plant trees in the cities, yes, when the county government goes and plants trees along the roads, what if we planted fruit trees instead? So that in a few years, yeah, the street children can just walk over to Uhuru Highway and have mangoes all over the place. What if we did that? Wouldn't we be addressing one of the president's big four? So as we plant trees also, let's be conscious that trees are not just for one thing. We can plant fruit trees and it will feed the nation.
Wow.
Absolutely, that's a great idea, right?
Good idea.
You'd have your own mango tree, or banana tree, and the monkeys in Muranga won't have to bother people. Again, the pay bill number is 859-855. Account number Change the Story. If you want to be a part of this movement, changing the story, planting a tree, growing a tree, this is what you need to do. And we got people who are committed out there, committed to make sure that tree cover gets out of the single digits. I mean, this is a scary thing. With the population growing the way it's growing, Mohammed, it is, I mean, look, we're at 45 million now, I think, plus minus.
More than that.
Correct. Yeah. We're going to be up to 50-something million, and we're sucking the air out of this country.
I fully agree. And I think we just need to be responsible citizens. I think the time to point fingers are gone. And as you said, if Margaret Madai was here, she will be disappointed. But knowing her spirit, she will be leading a group into planting trees. Absolutely. She wouldn't be saying things are terrible and get disappointed. She will actually lead. And I think that's what we need, that spirit for all Kenyans, to go out there, plant trees, organize themselves. Actually, and I would say it makes business sense. If you have a piece of land and you are actually planting trees, you'll actually make money.
Wow. And you know,
Wangari Kenyans love money, so...
yeah, they do, these people. Wangari Maathai used to have this thing called My Little Thing, right? My Little Thing.
The little bird.
The hummingbird. The hummingbird. Gentlemen, we've got a few more minutes to before the end of the show. I'll give you all a couple of minutes to give us some closing thoughts. Start with you, John.
Well, I think, as I started by saying, this is a disaster. It's a story every year about drought, about floods, and what can we do about it. And everybody says Serikali's idea. We are saying today, it's not about Serikali's idea. The solution actually is fairly simple. Plant a tree. Be part of this movement. Change the story. Let this not be the story your children, your grandchildren are going to hear. You can do it today. If you plant a tree today, there's no better time. There's no better time to plant a tree. However, if you don't know where to plant a tree, or you don't have the time to plant a tree, then donate to have other people plant a tree on your behalf. The pay bill number 859-855. Change the story. We can do it. We can change this story.
Absolutely. Mohammed Elmi, I'll give you the final word.
Thank you. I think first is to thank Kenyans. I think there's an awakening happening, and all those who are already doing it, we encourage them, and who are organizing themselves, who are raising money to do this. But we're saying the rest of us, let's wake up. Let's go and plant trees. Let's sustain them. Not only plant, but really grow them. Follow up until we have way beyond the 10% cover. And as my colleague said, maybe we should aim actually for 20.
Yes. At least.
Yes,
Someone once said, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is now. How about that? Let's help change the story. John Gishora, Group MD, NIC Bank. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Mohammed Elmi, CAS. Is that like assistant minister sort of thing? Is that, that's fancy title?
Yeah, something like that.
Very modest. Yes. He's the CAS of Environment and Forestry. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming to Hot 96 and for spreading your message and for helping change the narrative.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Well done. Thank you, sir. This is what we call
candid interviews with decision makers.